So what I saw happening across the organization was there was a lot of burnout, there was a lot of issues relating to well-being, etc. And we did have a service provider in place that was assisting us with the employee assistance program. However, what I found was that many of our people were not too inclined to interact with the service provider. There were a lot of issues regarding the stigma behind mental health, etc. And then it just so happened that Mandy reached out to me, Mandy from October Health. She reached out to me to say, you know what, we have this fantastic offering. Would you be interested in exploring it? And we took the conversation further from there. And immediately, the first thing that I saw when I engaged with Mandy and on seeing the demonstration of the product was that this was something that was really going to speak to my people. The majority of my people are actually the younger generation. So from that perspective, they're more inclined to interact via AI. This October Health tool offered the perfect solution for me because it was an avenue for them to be able to be coached, to be able to interact without having the thought or the stigma behind somebody's judging me on the other side of the table. And I think for us, that was a solution that actually covered a number of aspects that we wanted to address in the organization. So in view of the fact that we identified that well-being was a key area for us, and in view of the fact that we were seeing high burnout coming out throughout the organization, there were also issues regarding capabilities in terms of leadership, etc. What October Health offered us was a more proactive solution. Rather than waiting for an employee to get into a crisis situation, we saw that there was a lot of benefit for them to be able to proactively engage with the October Health app and to be able to get that assistance that they needed. I think people were very excited by the app. And yes, there was a big campaign behind it. The October Health team was fantastic in actually driving that engagement with the employees as well. They took the trouble to come through to actually run sessions with the employees, tell them what it was about, etc., etc. And I think what also gave them the reassurance that nobody from a leadership perspective could have access to their data, etc. I think that played a big role as well. I think as soon as they began seeing the benefits of engaging with the October Health app, the fact that there was Ivy, there was Luna that they could talk to, Ivy for their solutions regarding exercise, diet, etc. They became quite engaged with the app, and from that perspective, I think it encouraged them to talk to their fellow colleagues about it. It encouraged them to interact more on the app, and we've seen that coming through. If you look at the statistics, in terms of our coaching courses, we've had over 2,400 people engage on those coaching courses. Why? Because they're seeing the benefit of it. So for me, that was a big positive, and yeah, I guess that we're seeing the benefits of engaging with October Health. I think for me, it was because October Health spoke to the need that was in the organization. It's very easy to sit people in a classroom and get them trained, but what do they actually take away from it? October Health, what I'm finding with the coaching courses, is more a conversation type of an approach rather than an instructional approach. And for me, that works a lot better with our people because the app encourages them through the conversations that happen, encourages them to think and to come to the solutions themselves rather than sitting in a classroom and expecting to be fed those solutions. So for me, I think it was a very good move. I don't for one instance regret that we didn't go through a formal learning and development program for this. I think October Health has more than met our need in terms of the coaching. I think what I'm seeing coming through is that, especially with the aspects like the coaching, or not even the formal coaching through the coaching modules that are on October Health, but also through Luna, through Ivy, etc. What I'm seeing coming through is more of that conversation. People are becoming more inclined to take the initiative to go to that specific part of the app and to have or to engage with the app to get those solutions that they're looking for. From a traditional L&D perspective, I could be spending over R1 million on an L&D program, but I don't think I'll see the same results. And we've done this before. We have actually embarked on formal coaching programs across the organization with outside service providers from an L&D perspective. We have not seen the benefit come through. People will do what people want to do. And as soon as they see a benefit to something, they are more inclined to engage. If you have a traditional L&D program, and this is what I've found, and no offense to other service providers, but you sit people in the classroom, they sit there and they're not really wanting to engage, and with October Health, they have to engage because it's between you and the bot. It's not between you and anything else, right? So you've got to engage, and if depending on your responses, you get what you want out of the program. So the insights have been very meaningful. I think we've been seeing a significant increase in employee engagement across the organization, and we've also seen that retention has increased. There's been a significant decrease in burnout, and I think for me those are the positives that have come through. What we've done then is to take those initiatives or to take those results back to business, to say to business, you know what, in your section, this is what we're seeing coming through, this is what we believe that you can do, and October Health actually gives you those solutions. So it's not something that you have to go and figure out on your own. You're actually getting those solutions, which you can then translate into meaningful initiatives. So what we've also done is we've built it into our people strategy. And from that perspective as well, I'm just going to talk a little bit about our strategy. We drive our strategy along our people perspective, and we're driving towards this initiative that we're calling Purposefully Purple People. What I've really appreciated is the team from October Health has taken the time to sit with us and to understand what that strategy is and to see how they can actually build that strategy into the program, and into the October Health app to assist us from that perspective so that we're getting a consistent messaging coming through, which I think for me was fantastic. Yeah, I've seen a big change in terms of the behavior. I've seen a big shift in terms of the mindset. I think people are understanding that my growth is a shared responsibility, not just that of the organization. I'm also responsible for where I go to. And I think that we've seen significant change in performance across the organization. From a performance conversation perspective, for example, what I'm seeing coming through is that whereas previously conversations were transactional, it's all about what rating can I get? Can you give me the highest rating? There's been a significant shift to, well, what are actually my development areas? Let's talk about that rather. Let's have that conversation and see how we're going to work together to get to where we need to get to. And I'm attributing a significant portion of that to the October Health and the coaching courses. Oh, that was quite a phenomenal initiative, and I cannot say thank you enough to the October Health team. I think the feedback that I got from the attendees was so positive. They were so engaged, and they've actually asked for more. So, and then the females heard about it, and they were like, we want it too. Why did you just do this for the guys? But I think what it did for us was, October Health actually ran sessions, online sessions with our colleagues across the month of November. And they were well attended from what I saw on the sessions. Of course, females were not invited, so they told us very firmly stay out. But from the engagement that I got feedback on, I see that it was very well attended. The colleagues appreciated the topics that were being discussed, and they appreciated the level of competency with which those discussions were being held with the facilitator as well. The culmination of those sessions was a physical in-presence meeting or a gathering in our offices, and I cannot tell you how much the colleagues appreciated that. They actually said to us afterwards, please, you've got to arrange this on a more regular basis. I think what came through was that a lot of people were feeling, I'm in this on my own. I'm a guy, I'm in this on my own. I've got family issues. I can't talk to anybody about it. There's that whole stigma behind it. I think the facilitator did very well, or all the facilitators did very well in actually just banishing that stigma that was attached. And what I saw come through was that the guys were engaging very meaningfully, and they were actually, giving their views. And, I think it was, for them, it was like an aha moment. You know what, I'm not the only one in this. There's other people, and I can actually talk to other people. So, yeah, they did appreciate it. What I've seen in terms of the employee well-being, we've had an increase of 28%, right, since the beginning of the program. I've seen it come through not just on the October health reports that I've been getting. I've also seen it come through on our own internal people voice. We've had a massive jump in terms of the people perspectives. We've had a massive jump in terms of the engagement that we've seen coming through. We've had a massive jump in terms of our employee net promoter score. And this is from our own internal survey, right, which then supports exactly what's coming through on the October health reports. So for me, I think that we've seen well-being improving across the organization. I think people are engaging more with the app to help them through their issues that they're coming up with. And I think that the solutions that are coming through are more practical for them to be able to apply. And that's why we're seeing this massive shift. So 19% improvement in terms of the retention. What that means for the business is I'm spending less on going out to look for staff to replace people that are leaving the organization. That can be a massive cost. So for me, 19% is really phenomenal. I'm expecting to see it increase over the rest of this year as well. But it also says to me that our people are more inclined to stay with the organization because they're seeing value. They are seeing that the fact that we are implementing things like the October Health app, it means that we are paying more attention to what is happening with our people. It means that we are more engaged in terms of what we do for our people, and we are being very intentional about what we do from a well-being perspective. So we've seen a massive shift in culture. I think previously what I was seeing was that people were in their own little bubble. They tended to blame the organization. Oh, you didn't do this for me, you didn't do this for me. What I'm seeing is a change in culture being accelerated towards ownership. I'm seeing that people are taking ownership of their development. They're taking accountability for their own existence in the organization. And I'm seeing that in terms of the manner in which there is interaction across the organization. It's moved away from confrontational to conversational, which is something that I think I'm really happy with, because I think it gives the perspective that the employees are a lot happier. Leaders are getting more from our employees, what they need from our employees. And our employees themselves are getting what they need from the organization as well. I'm seeing that coming through. I just want to say a massive thank you to the October Health team. I was actually talking to my CFO yesterday, and I said to him, I firmly believe that I'm getting more value out of October Health and the relationship that we have, and the relationship between us and the service provider. And I'm seeing so much of value coming through, and I really appreciate it. So a massive thank you to Kiana and Mandy and the rest of you as well, Kirsty. We really do appreciate everything that you guys do with us. It's for us, the fact that a service provider goes over and beyond what's in a contract agreement means a lot to us. So thank you so much.